We know the big lie is here to stay, but the Democrats, what they need to work on is being more worried about what the Republicans will do if they lose just as much as they do if they win. Now, Mike Allen of Axios, he's one of DC's most venerated purveyors of conventional wisdom. He dropped a big bombshell last week when he wrote that Democrats who study polling are panicking over the possibility that Donald Trump could win again a squatter in 2024 and end up with a compliant filibuster-proof Senate majority in January of 2025, courtesy of what data analyst David Shore, best known for his popularism theory, predicted would be a minority of the vote. Now, how's that for a shit Sunday? Allen pointed to a piece by Yale's Simon Simon Bazelon, who accuses Democrats of sleepwalking into disaster. But basically, he notes that a close presidential election in 2024 might take out all the Democratic senators like John Tester in Montana, the closet Republican Joe Manchin in West Virginia, um, Sherrod Brown in Ohio, Bob Casey in Pennsylvania, Tammy Baldwin in Wisconsin, the closet Republican Kristen Sinema in Arizona, Debbie Stabenow in Michigan, and Jackie Rosen in Nevada. Now, Allen writes in all of those states, hardcore democraticism is a tough sell. Even with the Democrats being unaware of that, and these candidates know nothing about the states that they're running in. Um, and yes, of course, it will be a tough map for the Democrats in 2024 because all those incumbents are up for re-election, and what are, with the exception of West Virginia, they're battleground states, which by definition are, well, battles. Now, of course, this all means that these same states are tough for Republicans. After all, they lost all those states in 2018. Um, the assumption in Allen's piece and others, are like this one from Ross Duhat, is that not only is the midterm election this November going to be a rout for Democrats because of inevitable backlash against the hyped up media hardcore democratism, 2024 is already in the bag for the GOP as well. This November is a lot closer, and the usual midterm dynamics are apparent. So it's not basically fucking ridiculous to be worried about the Democrats losing control of Congress. But to assume that Donald Trump has already won the 2024 election because of the party's alleged hardcore democraticism is the predictable stale beltway dogma about politics in real America, which has never been an accurate analysis of why people actually vote. And we should, however, be concerned that the Democrats will lose the 2024 election for an entirely different reason. And the fact is, every Democrat's hair should be on fire. There is an excellent possibility that they'll be shut out in 2024, but it won't be because they lost a vote. And we've all heard about Trump sycophants in various states making moves to strike Democrats from election boards and run for secretaries of state to oversee future elections. And we know that Trump himself is still obsessively pushing that big lie that he won the 2020 election, which he didn't, and that nearly 70% of Republicans are fucking stupid enough to believe him. And we have learned recently that members of Congress were actively involved in helping him do this, even in one case asking the White House Chief of Staff for talking points to help him make his case. And the result of all this is to make the majority of Republican voters accept the election results, as Trump openly declared back in 2016. And this is only if the GOP wins. Oh, a second. Um, yeah. Oh shit. Additionally, I think everyone is rightfully concerned that there will be another insurrection, a Klan one anyway, and that and that it's going to be much worse than what we witnessed last year. Now, it's the sword of Damocles hanging over our entire. I'm not sure if I said that name right, but so hanging over our entire democracy at this point, and it's hard to see how that problem can easily be fixed. Unfortunately, that's not all. The New York Times reported this week that Trump's failed coup of 2020 is ongoing, with action in various states to decertify the 2020 election and reinstall Trump as squatter into the White House, and that's not how it works. And yes, it is fucking preposterous, but it's happening in a number of states with tremendous pressure being brought to bear on candidates and legislators to back up the idea that this is a legitimate process. And the reporting indicates that many of these state office holders understand that it is fucking ridiculous, but they were signing on to the idea as another way to curry favor with Trump and his henchmen. Now, this effort was led by John Eastman, the lawyer who proposed that the vice squatter can simply refuse to accept electoral votes and send it to the House of Representatives, which he actually did not have the power to do. And it was where a quirk in the Constitution would allow Trump to be certified for a second term. Now, the judge who was overseeing the production of emails subpoenaed by the January 6th committee had referred to Eastman's plan as a coup in search of a legal theory. And the judge proclaimed that the documents showed Trump and Eastman were more than likely not engaged in a criminal conspiracy to obstruct Congress. Apparently, Eastman remains undeterred and is still at times, according to the Times, now, this is what the thing said. The French legal theory that Eastman and Mr. Epstein are promoting, which has been widely dismissed, holds that state lawmakers have the power to choose how electors are selected, which they don't. Excuse me. Now, they're claiming that they can change them long after the Electoral College has certified votes, which they don't. They can't do that. And if they find fraud, which they didn't, and illegality sufficiently altered the outcome, which that didn't also, the theory has surfaced in multiple states, including several that are political battleground states. Now, the Times had characterized this project as being a way for some of the Trump grift crew, like Steve Bannon, Boris Epstein, and Michael Flynn, to remain relevant, but also as a way to keep the fervent true believers agitated and engaged. Now, all this hand-wringing over the 2020 election serves to reinforce the notion that the election system is entirely corrupt and untrustworthy, which is a real fucking problem. But this isn't the most concerning aspect of this project. The article quotes formerly highly respected conservative judge Michael Luttig making the most salient observation about what this is all about. Trump and his sycophants in Congress and in the states are preparing now to lay the groundwork to overturn the election in 2020. Where Trump or anybody that is going against him to lose the vote for the presidency or presidency. He calls it the clearest and most present danger to our democracy. And Luttig is anything but a hardcore Democrat, so you wouldn't think that the Republican establishment would be a bit more nervous to hear something like that from a bona fide arch-conservative like him, but they aren't. They are letting this happen because it benefits them all. And there are many things that they may not like about Trump, but this isn't one of them. After all, if for some reason Donald Trump doesn't legitimately win in 2024 and therefore has no coattails, the congressional elections in all those battleground states can be very close. But if people believe that presidential elections can be overturned by state legislators, then there's no reason that other races shouldn't have the same privilege. So sure, Democrats should be worried about 2024, but what they need to worry about is what the Republicans will do if they lose just as much as they do if they fucking win. So if you like the video, you can give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, RBW King. You can also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out. And if you want to support my work even further, you could donate to my Patreon link, and just for as little as a few bucks a month, it could help the channel go a long way. And thanks for listening.